Thank you for having me with you. I will present a development that has already taken a couple of years at a very traditional Bavarian writing utensils company. We call it the Digipen because it's a digital pen, and the topic is how to make a pen smart. So what will I present? First of all, the motivation. Why do we do such a thing? And then there are already other digital pens, but we wanted to do it our way, and I will show you why. And also I will show you where the products, or what products that have been using this this pen already, and of course what we plan to do in the future. So let's dive into it. Why a digital pen? Now, we know that handwriting helps with learning, but we also see that the digital media that are now getting more and more being used in school, they neglect handwriting. I mean, you can do it, but it's cumbersome, and there are easier ways of like using them. So the danger would be that handwriting becomes obsolete. And if you consider what research tells us about the value of handwriting in a knowledge society, that would be a pity, really. Now, we've looked at studies that compared the results of student thesis, where the participants would only type and others would do at least the draft in handwriting and then hand over a typed paper as well. And you could see in creative tasks, 38% more of relevant solutions were found by people that use handwriting. It's really surprising, but those keys on the keyboard, they restrict your thinking. They keep you in a cage without you really realizing it. And only when you do these comparative studies, you can see what you're missing. And the same thing goes for lecture notes. When students take notes in a lecture, you can, after a couple of weeks, see that significantly more of the knowledge is retained when handwriting has been used to take the notes, as compared to typing on a laptop or some other electronic device. And here are the studies. You can download the PDF later, and you can check for yourself. And everyone who has used a hidden, I don't know what is in English, a hidden paper in a test in school where you have like formulas written down, you probably remember, once you have written those down, you don't need this small paper anymore. You know it by heart already. And so that would be our motivation, why we want to keep handwriting in the digital world, or want to transfer it into the digital world. And there are already other means to do it. For example, infrared triangulation. But there you need a receiver. It's cumbersome. Each new paper, you have to clip this receiver on, and you have to establish a connection to the computer. And then, of course, it works quite well. But yeah, you need some secondary equipment and not only a pen. So there are other and quite ingenious solutions where you have a special paper that is printed with small dots and a camera in the pen that looks at those dots and sees how they are arranged, and from that arrangement finds out where on the paper it is. It's really ingenious, but is also a niche solution and didn't really take off. And of course, where you see it mostly is on a touchpad, where you have a stylus. And initially, the handrest was problematic. I mean, now some companies have quite well solved it, but still you need a special fragile tablet to write on. Every manufacturer has their own technology. You cannot use an Apple Pencil on an Android device. So this is really also not a really attractive solution. So why not just write on regular paper, we thought. And we do this with a very regular ballpoint pen that has on the inside some electronics. And how do you get the electronics inside? Well, we first thought about overmolding that. We used flexible PCBs and then put them in injection mold and injected plastic into it. But we could see that the electronics didn't really like this. I mean, we saw changes in the capacitance of capacitors. We saw some of the connectors ripped off on larger parts. So that didn't really work well. So the next idea was to use a sensor flex, a flex PCB with sensors on it, and a conventional board. So in the front you see, well, you don't really, but under the tape that is wrapped around this wooden sled,